Our next presenter comes from FNN Foods, and the topic is a very interesting topic. It's about developing a digital community, right? And the title of the challenge is delivering a consumer-focused digital community environment for the fans who love 100 plus. And our next speaker comes from FNN Limited, and she is Miss Celine Tan. Hi, Celine, and welcome on board. I believe Celine is the Regional Marketing Director, Beverages for FNN Limited, and she's an experienced, fast-moving consumer goods marketeer with extensive experience working across different consumer categories. And right now, Celine is in charge of a couple of brands, right, in the portfolio, in the beverage portfolio, which includes 100 plus, FNN Sparkling, Ice Mountain, and Seasons. And these are all drinks that I'm probably going to drink around this session. Very thirsty now. Celine, are you ready to present on your challenge?
Yes, thanks, Billy.
Okay,
and thanks
take it
for...
away. I'll look forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll look forward to chatting you during the Q&A coming up. So please, Miss Celine Tan from FNN Limited. Take it away, Celine.
Thank you. Afternoon, everyone. This is the agenda that I'll be covering for today. I'm going to spend a bit of time, just a quick introduction of 100 plus, and hopefully give a bit more time for the Q&A. Okay, so for 100 plus, if you've been in Singapore for at least maybe the past 1 to 2 years, you will probably have drunk 100 plus. Yeah, the #1 isotonic drink in Singapore and also in Malaysia. Just a quick fun fact, we actually started in 1983 when FNN actually celebrated 100 years in Asia. So this was a drink that was actually developed to commemorate the spirit of empowerment, the spirit of hope and ambition. Okay, is actually anchored in sports. Our DNA is actually in sports. However, if you go to the coffee shop today, you would realize that 100 plus, I would say with confidence in Singapore, it's almost 100% distributed there. It's also taken as a meal, largely also because it is a very refreshing drink. It's a drink that really refreshes and rehydrates you on the go. You also can take it at home. In fact, fun fact, outside of Singapore and Malaysia, people drink it at home a lot more. Yeah. So in Singapore, we have been a firm supporter of many associations, Sports SG, HPB, in fact, even like a supporter of SNOC as well. Okay, so this is our portfolio in short. Just a quick introduction if you're not so familiar with the range that we have. Broadly speaking, we have 2 ranges. The first range is the light carbonated range. So we have our original, which is the one that you would likely see widely distributed all over Singapore. And then we have 2 flavors. And about 3 years ago, we actually came out with 100 plus zero. So this is 0 sugar, 0 calories. This is what we call the carbonated range. The non-carbonated range, we call it 100 plus active, and that's where you would see a lot of it being drunk during a marathon, for example. We have it in both the beverage format as well as a powder format. I've put down all the kind of major runs and events that we support in Singapore because this is also critical in part of the solution that we're trying to provide also. So if you look at all the sponsorship marathons and all that, 100 plus is always the official hydration sponsor. And this is something probably you should keep at the back of your mind, because when you come up with a solution, the community platform, this is something that we also hope to integrate as part of the community. Okay, so the background, so I think today everyone knows that the retail commerce is much more fragmented. It's omni-channel, and consumers are also becoming much more demanding in terms of the consumer experience. So the challenge that we have today is that 100 plus has been in Singapore for a long time, right? And we do have multiple touch points, so we also have a lot of data. However, we lack an aggregated platform that kind of pulls everything together. So we are not able to reach our consumers directly. So a lot of the data that we have are third-party data. So that's probably the first challenge. Then we don't really have a sustainable community hub that keeps people coming back repeatedly, right? And this point, I think I talked about already. So which is currently we operate through third-party data. So the kind of data that we do have research data, we do have social media data, we also have our own internal sales data. But what we're trying to do is, can we have something that probably strings all of this and connects the dots for 100 plus? Okay, so this is the kind of the problem statement, putting together what we're trying to achieve. So we want to have a cohesive ecosystem platform, connecting all our consumers to, number one, I think increase brand stickiness, increase brand loyalty. And of course, I think as a secondary objective is to help us to generate more sales. So two primary objectives. We want to reach our consumers directly so that we can increase brand stickiness. And number two, as a secondary objective, we want to generate more sales. So what are we actually looking for? We're looking for a prototype-like platform where we want to kind of string and connect the dots together. We want to be able to reach our consumers directly. So I think, broadly speaking, I want to know who this consumer is. I want to know that this consumer is John. He's 25. He's joining a marathon, and the marathon is going to take place in 2 weeks' time. I want to be able to reach him to say, "Have you hydrated adequately?" for example. Okay, so it should be unique, it should be compelling. I think when we talk about unique and compelling digital capability, what we mean is is there a hook to get people to actually come on board 100 plus? Because truthfully, there are many, many different sports apps out there. We need a very strong hook to get people to come back in. So one example could be, for example, 100 plus is anchored in hydration, right? Is there a hydration analysis that we could build into the app so that when people are running, they could see whether they are hydrated, dehydrated, that's impacting performance, for example. And then the third one is really about performance requirements, which is probably the tech stuff that would be par for the course. It has to be intuitive, it has to be secure, it has to be engaging. Okay, so what's in it? So this one will be 30,000 prize money. The opportunity for you to work in partnership with us to create something that we would pilot in Singapore. Having said that, if this is something that works well in Singapore, it's something that we would be open to take to the region as well. Okay, so the evaluation criteria, I think these 4 pillars are something that I think a lot of our speakers have talked about. So solution fit, how ready is it to go to market? Is it cost effective? And also, I think company profile. Yeah, so these are not something that's completely new. Yeah, so I think done. Okay, so I'm kind of done. I might have gone quite fast. Wow. So
wow,
I can
that was really fast. Yeah.
Yeah,
like we were running in 100 meters at Olympics. But it's okay. It's a very good presentation. I guess we can move on down to the Q&A. But I do have one question on behalf of the audience right now. Basically, I just want to ask, what alternatives did FNN consider before, turning to OIP for this community digital platform?
I think if you talk about a completely integrated one, the answer is we haven't. Yeah, the short answer is we haven't. So this would be something I feel, something that we haven't done on an integrated platform. What we have done is little different parts of the jigsaw, but we haven't been able to string it together. So that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. We have quite a few questions for you, but I'm going to go through, and some of them are quite tough questions. So let's see whether we can answer them within the constraints of our time. Okay, first one is FNN. Can you share about your current slogan or tagline for your branding and how it has changed over the recent years? I suppose this is referring to the 100 plus branding itself and probably not your other drinks. And what do you think your consumers care the most about 100 plus, and how does your consumers want to interact with your company? Wow, sounds like a comparative analysis. I'm not wrong. Very good questions actually. Yeah. Would you like to take a shot answering them, Celine? Yeah.
Okay, so 100 plus is really about outdoing yourself. It's all about empowering and getting you to do better. So it's a progressive brand, right? How do you think the consumers care about 100 plus? I think the most consumers interact with 100 plus in a sporting occasion. Secondarily, it will be a meal accompaniment, maybe on a very hot day in a coffee shop, for example. So that's the primary occasions, I would say, sports. Yeah. How does your consumers want to interact with your company? I think we want consumers to always interact at every possible touch point. So that could be in a shop, that could be online, where we're running an engagement contest, for example, or it could be even, in a moment of truth when you're in a marathon, right? When you need to drink. So that's where we are. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I also noticed that you have a very active social media presence as well. For 100 plus alone, there's a very active social media presence. So I suppose that's part of your range of interactions with your consumers. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next question. I don't think it's quite relevant, so I'll probably gonna skip it. It's about how COVID has affected the sporting community in Singapore. It's probably not relevant to this challenge. So, Tianyin, sorry, I think we'll just skip this question. Maybe you can post it on the OIP forum. Okay, next one. Oh yeah, I think it's relevant to what we're talking about, Celine. How are you reaching out to your audience currently? Any digital experiences or loyalty programs? Maybe you can give further details on this. Yeah.
So currently, we are on Instagram and we are on Facebook. So that's the primary digital engagement that we have with our consumers. Loyalty programs, we don't really have one now. Any loyalty programs that we have would be perhaps via a retailer. It's not direct.
Just to add, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, hi, Jasmine. Welcome. Hi, Jasmine. Welcome.
Jasmine, from FNN. Yeah, we are. It's in the pipeline. We are developing an e-commerce platform. Yeah, for FNN. Yeah. But it's an e-commerce platform. Is totally different from what Celine is talking about. What she's talking about just now is the community engagement platform.
Sure.
Which is different. Yeah. So that is the e-commerce platform will be one that will be launched within this year, this calendar year. Yeah. Our own one. I mean, of course, we have presence in like Shopee and all those today. Yeah. But not our own platform, but we will launch one this year. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So it'll be a new channel to engage with your customers directly. That's very interesting. Thank you very much, Jasmine. Yeah. Okay, there's one question about PDPA. Outreach to consumer for engagement might violate PDPA. So consumer permission is required. This might not drive more insights if they opt out. Any comments, Jasmine or Celine, on this question about PDPA?
Yeah, I think this is something that consumers actually today are very aware of it. So when they do engage with us, there's always a clause there, and they do know that we will. They do know that they need to give us rights to actually, for example, feature them if any. But usually consumers do know that there's a PDPA clause, and if they do engage with us, it's with their consent. Yeah.
With express permission, right? They have to tick and say yes, they agree to give it.
So they will
quite extended across a lot of platforms these days. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Wow. This one is from a very serious tech solver who's very interested in your challenge. Okay. Do you require all the functions as mentioned in the challenge brief?
Sorry, what do you mean by all the functions?
I think everything that you asked for, I think that, so the tech solver is probably asking, do you really need everything, or is there like a priority list? Yeah.
Okay. So I think if we look at the priority of, at least from a phasing standpoint, I think I would be looking at reaching the consumer directly, increasing stickiness, increasing brand engagement and loyalty as a first priority. And then as a second priority, it would be to generate more sales.
Okay, that sounds like a very good answer to me. Yeah, so I hope that answered the question, Mr. Anonymous. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. Okay, another tech solver asks, are you looking at a mobile application for this solution?
I would. Jasmine, we are, right? This one for this?
Definitely mobile, yes.
Okay, so there you have it. It's definitely a mobile solution that FNN is looking at. Yeah. Okay, we have more questions from Tian. Tian is very interested in this, in the community that you have for 100 plus. So are runners one of the largest consumers of 100 plus? Do we have any answer on this? Jasmine or Celine?
From a Singapore sporting fraternity standpoint, I would say yes. Running is the top sport.
Okay, that's good. Tian also is very much involved in the sports scene. One more question. I'm not sure it is relevant, but let's try. Because of the cancelling of marathons in the current situation, is the use case of training for marathons still a priority? I believe this was in your challenge statement, right? The use case of training for marathons. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, today I think marathons are taking on the form of a hybrid kind of thing. So it might not be a very big stand chart marathon with 100,000 people, but it could be in different phases of training. So whether it's a big marathon or a kind of a hybrid event or even a smaller community event, I still believe it's relevant as a use case, because ultimately at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is to get people to remain active. And when they are expending some level of perspiration, sweat, or exertion, hydration is therefore crucial, and 100 Plus will then therefore be the brand to answer that need. So from a use case perspective, I would say yes.
Okay, I think that's about it. Wow, we have done quite a marathon of questions and we answered all of them very quickly. Thank you very much, Celine and Jasmine. I think you have presented your case very well, and we look forward to a lot of exciting submissions for your challenge, right? So this is going to be, I think your challenge, right, the solution that's coming up, right, will probably be of interest to a lot of other companies as well. So it's going to be probably a very impactful solution that will impact it, and that will probably influence the entire, sector, right? All the, FMCG companies will be interested in this kind of, community digital platform.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, welcome. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think, following on to what you just mentioned, I think, of course, we do not want to have something that is so generic that is just picked up by another XYZ beverage company and it will work for them just as well. Then it's not sticky anymore. So being sticky means is in terms of the so-called the entire packaging from front to end has to be something that is, people look at it and you know that it is not this beverage X or Y, it's 100 Plus, for example. It is us. It is something that is like so, so engrossed into until you, from the community to the way you talk, to the way you use the application, including whatever other additional things that Celine has put in, which, like you mentioned, may or may not be there, variables, or I don't know. But whatever that the person can come up with, there's a wow factor, will be the one that will, attract us to know that, hey, this person knows what we are asking for. Not just any generic kind of engagement platform. Thanks.
Very, very good point, Jasmine, because I think we just have a last minute comment from Singbio, and Singbio is saying, we have a complete digital platform for this. However, operating such a platform will require certain commitment from 100 Plus / FNN as well to deliver consistent content and manage the community. So I think it's going to be a two-way collaboration that's going to make this a success, to give you the wow factor that you're looking for. So Singbio, maybe you can drop more of your comments in the OIP forum for FNN, so they'll be, they can touch base with you. Thank you, Jasmine and Celine, for a very great presentation and the Q&A session. And again, I look forward to the exciting submissions for you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Singbio, for a question as well. Thank you.